A long time ago, in a galaxy far away, way back when I was in college, I took a class. It was an arts elective. I think you had to take three arts classes. I took a class called The Philosophy of Art and Beauty. Off the top of my head, it was probably like me and 15 art students, and I was not an art student. The So I was pretty quiet, for the most part throughout the course. And when it came to writing a final paper, the professor was talking to me after reading it, saying, "Man, this is really great." And he was like, "It just seems odd that you were so quiet, throughout the course." I said, "Well, it goes back to the topic of my paper, which was that in order to appreciate art and you have to know the history of it, and because otherwise it's just like it's a pretty painting or it's an accurate sculpture, like without knowing the period that it was done in and why the style of the piece of art stood out, what changes it brought about. There's so much that goes into it that just looking at a piece, at least to me, of art, I don't necessarily get it. So again, the gist of my paper was that you need to understand the history of art to really appreciate it. And sometimes I wonder if that kind of correlates with how I approach jazz. I don't get jazz. I keep on thinking that one day I'm just like going to hear something and go, oh, I get it. And maybe it's because I don't know the history about it. Maybe it's just not for me. It's probably just not for me, but, I'm curious. So anyway, this past Friday, the movie Miles Ahead, it's a biopic about Miles Davis, came to town. So I talked to my girlfriend into going by telling her that it had also co-starred Ewan McGregor, and off we went. So I'm just going to take a few minutes and give you my review. Hi everybody, my name's Tom. Thanks for stopping by. You're watching my channel, Rant District, and I wanted to give a review of a music-related movie I saw recently in the theater. I saw this past Friday. Today's Monday, and it's called Miles. The movie is called Miles Ahead. Came out just this year. I assume earlier this year. It's 2016. It stars and is written, or at least co-written, by Don Cheadle, who I like a lot. It also co-stars Ewan McGregor as a Rolling Stone reporter, and has what's her name, like Emiyatsi Cornealdi as Miles Davis's wife way back when. Her name is Frances something. The gist of the story is Ewan McGregor is a Rolling Stone reporter, and it kind of barges into Miles Davis' his life in 1979, I think, in New York City. And at that point, Miles Davis is kind of not a recluse, but he's not producing music. And I think his record label kind of wants him to produce music, and supposedly he's got a tape, old reel-to-reel tape, but he's got a tape that is new, and he just doesn't want to share with anybody for whatever reason. Throughout the telling of the story, the tape gets stolen by somebody affiliated with the record company, and it's about how he gets the tape back. He tries to, and Miles Davis is battling drugs. Ewan McGregor is not helping the matter, and it's kind of like Miles Davis in 1979, and then consistently flashing back to I don't know what time period. I'm guessing 50s or 60s. I have no idea. I'm not really, maybe early 70s. And I don't know enough about his career to say what exactly time period he was referring to. Anyway, it was in his past. So I hesitated to make this review. I would have done it Saturday morning, but but I didn't get a lot of the movie. I didn't really understand what was going on. I wanted to marinate it on it for a couple of days, and then yesterday my girlfriend was saying to me that she read something along the lines of it's the movie is kind of mirrors his jazz, where it's kind of chaotic and it's all over the place. And I don't know if that's intentional or if that's somebody trying to make an excuse for the movie. I didn't think the movie was great. Now, I think very highly of Don Cheadle. I generally think, Ewan McGregor is a good actor, and the acting in the movie was fine. The story, though, I didn't get it. I didn't get what the point was, other than, a caper sort of to retrieve this missing or stolen tape, audio tape of his new music. Cheadle did great. I guess I don't understand. First of all, the flashbacks. There was always some weird, rudimentary cut to the flashback. It seemed like it was an iMovie thing. Ooh, swipe up, and now we're in the past. Putting that aside, and this was probably a very low budget film. I vaguely recall that maybe there was a Kickstarter associated with funding this movie, but don't quote me on that. But I could see it because it was kind of it needed tightening. It was only an hour and 40 minutes long, but there was a lot of missing information here. And maybe that's on purpose. Maybe it's meant to mirror jazz. But it really didn't tell me that much about Miles Davis. I didn't know anything about the guy. Didn't know he had drug issues. It's as a musician, he does drugs. Ooh. My music collection would probably be pretty boring if the artists that I have didn't do drugs. But I didn't get the point. He's trying to retrieve the tape, but I was hoping for more information on his background. There's constant flashbacks to, he's being, promiscuous is the wrong word. He's constantly, in the past, he's being what I would call studly, or what my girlfriend would call being a cheater. He's a womanizer, that's it. And but for whatever reason, he takes a liking to this girl Frances, who's a dancer, a very accomplished dancer, and he makes a phone call one day, says he misses her while he's in bed with these other women, and wants her to drop her career, and then she does, and marry him, which she does, but she hesitates, and it's there's really no backstory about how this woman who put her life into dance would just kind of drop everything, drop her career, and go marry Miles Davis. Now, yeah, I guess he's a famous guy, but she didn't seem starstruck throughout the movie. Why is Miles Davis so messed up on drugs? I vaguely recall that he had some sort of maybe a degenerative hip condition, and maybe he was taking care of pain that way. But the struggles he went through at this time in 1979, I don't think he lives much longer than past 1979. I think he passes away in 80 or 81. I vaguely recall. But I don't really get a sense of him, of why he did what he did, how it influenced his music, and how kind of he arrives at this point of his life where he feels kind of broken down and drug-addled and not inspired to make music. So the story, as chaotic as this review sounds, it's kind of how the movie was. I just didn't get it. And maybe that's, a jazz thing to me where I just don't get jazz. I keep trying every now and then, and it just doesn't resonate with me. I like a good story. When I go to see a movie, I like a good story. The fact that this was music-related and starred Don Cheadle and was written by him, that attracted me. I was disappointed with the movie. And me and my girlfriend walked out of the movie just kind of looking at each other going, I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, if you're a big Miles Davis fan, of course, go see it. If you're just looking for a movie to see, right now there's not a whole lot out movie-wise that's enticing to see. So, I wanted to see this. I wanted to learn. I'm always looking to learn a bit more, and if it can help, if gaining a little knowledge can help my music appreciation, I want to seek out that knowledge. And that's why I watch, so many YouTube videos of folks whose music musical tastes are outside of my wheelhouse. You know, I always want to be learning, and I think that's a healthy thing. Anyway, I would kind of wait for this movie to hit cable TV or cheap pay-per-view or something before seeing it. Don't know that it needed the big screen treatment. It kind of felt like maybe a like a Showtime kind of movie. Not horrible, but just not good. I'll just leave it at that. Your mileage may vary. Thanks for watching. See you soon.